You're watching Every Day to Saturday, USMC Veteran. Let's go, baby. And here's your host, Bryan. What's going on, friends and family? Hey, how you doing? Hope the new year is treating you guys well so far, and I hope you're treating yourself so far. Don't forget, 2025 is our year. We're going to make things happen. We're going to fucking accomplish things. We're going to take care of ourselves, and we're going to give the world the best version of ourselves. Well, hey, guys, today's going to be a fun episode, so make sure you stick through and hang out for the duration of this one. You're going to have some laughs on me, but before we get going, let's go ahead and brew us up some coffee. All right, so what do you guys got? What are you guys drinking on today? Me, of course, I'm still drinking on Cash Coffee, the K9 brand, and I absolutely love it. It is a great coffee. If you guys like a little bit of a strong, bold taste, definitely has a lot of flavor to it. You don't have to really even put a lot of grinds in when you make the coffee, and it's really good. I'm telling you, some Cash Coffee. You guys will have the link in the description. You guys can go click on there, go order yourself some. Because let me tell you guys what, they don't just have coffee. They also have really nice, cool apparel. They also have, coffee cups like this. They also have some really cool hats. Check out this hat I got from them. Look at that. Semper Fi, baby. Yeah. Pretty nice. Well, we're going to go ahead and share their website with you guys real quick so you guys can kind of check it out yourself here. I'm going to go ahead and come on in. Let's go check it out. They got some vitamins. So that I thought that was pretty cool. They have supplements and stuff like that. A lot of them. You see they got probiotics, HTP, brain health, collagen, colon cleanse, colon restore. I mean, they have quite a bit of stuff. It's really cool. Magnesium, stuff for your eye health, digestive enzymes, a whole bunch of stuff. Omega-3s, some really good vitamins and nutrients in here that we are totally lacking. Our food is missing all types of vitamins and stuff like this. So this stuff is really good. Go check this stuff out, guys. Give it a try. You know what I mean? These people are amazing people. They're very patriotic and all about supporting their veterans, their first responders, and just taking care of their community in general. They're really some outstanding people. Let's go check out some of their apparel they got. They got hats, beanies, shirts, all kinds of stuff. Here's some of their coffees they have. They have quite a bit of coffees as well. So I'm telling you guys, go check them out. You guys won't be disappointed. Once again, the link will be in the description of this video, as well as they're in episode 1 and 2 as well. I'm, a big supporter of them and affiliate of Cash Coffee. So go get yourself some today. All right, guys. Well, today is going to be a fun day. You guys get to laugh on the expenses of me. And I tell you what, if my life was totally on a book or caught on camera, you would be laughing quite a bit. Because I tell you what, there's been some crazy stuff. I'm sure everybody's had a lot of crazy stuff happen to them. But sometimes I feel like, gosh, dang, am I on candid camera most of the time of my life? We're going to go ahead and kind of start back from my high school days and work my way up. I'll give you guys some boot camp stories time, some stuff after. I'll give you some good stories here. Nevertheless, if I could even talk. I got to get on my crayons. That's one thing about doing these morning shows, it's like I'm not even through my first cup or anything. And not really charged up that much yet. And you guys don't want me when I'm a couple in. All right. So this first story is going to start off back in high school. I was a junior getting ready to go into my senior year. It was my summer break. My little sister was getting out of 8th grade, getting ready to be a freshman in high school. So we thought it'd be fun to have a party at the house. I wouldn't call it a party. We called them a kickback, which means they were, quite like a good handful of people, 10 to 12 people maybe. And my mom, she worked as a dental hygienist. Dental assistant. Sorry, not a dental hygienist. She was a dental assistant. And my stepdad worked as a carrier for FedEx. Now, they always, worked, from the morning all the way to the afternoon, did their lunch breaks at work, all that stuff. So, summertime, thought it was a perfect opportunity to have some fun, have some homies over, let my sister have some friends over. And we decided, let's go ahead, and my backyard's pretty cool. When I was in high school, it had a pool, it had speakers in the back, it had misters. It was a nice little setup for a little summer party. So I thought, hey, let's go ahead and have some friends over. So we're having a good time, right? We have a little bong session going on at the table in the back. My buddy's inside the house at the dinner table rolling a blunt. And then I got friends, and if you don't know what a blunt is, it's marijuana in paper, like a cigar paper. And my buddies, like, were swimming and stuff. It was a good time. And I had another buddy who was around the corner. We fired up the barbecue. They went and got some carne asada meat and stuff like that. So my buddy was over there on the side barbecuing it up. And, we're just in there having a good time bumping, and everybody's, having a little session. Well, I get up because, like, the misters are, like, getting everybody kind of, like, wet. They're a little on too high. So I'm going to adjust the water pressure to make them not be so high. I go do it. And as I'm coming back to, here's the picture. I'm coming back, and everybody's sitting around this table smoking the bong. My little sister's, like, sitting there blowing out smoke, passing the bong to her little friend. And as I come around the corner, I see my mom. We had like a sliding glass door, and I can just see her face, like, peeking out, and her eyes are just lit up, and she just get everybody out of here now, Bryan. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. My buddies that were in the pool, they all went underwater and stuff. Everybody is kind of freaking out because my mom was heated. So as I would be as a parent, you know what I mean? As a parent now, I totally get it. But so anyways, I'm telling all my friends, hey man, you guys got to round it up. You guys gotta get out of here, dude. My mom is, she's pissed. Why don't you guys just go to the park? And the park was like down the street. Not to say, I wouldn't say down the street. I would say it was about 2 miles from where I lived. And so they all packed up their stuff and left. And my little sister had jammed up to her room, and she my little sister, being paranoid and stuff, she goes upstairs and changes and stuff. Like, my mom did not just watch her blowing out smoke, handing the bong to her little friend. And so she's up there trying to, like, get herself, like, she didn't just partake in this whole thing. And my mom is just infuriated. She's just like, you better never ever do that again, and you are grounded, and da da da. She just was so pissed, and she actually had to go back to work because she came home on a fucking lunch break, and she never came home on a lunch break. This time she decides to come home on a lunch break. And I tell you, I feel like it's probably my little sister, because my sister got caught for everything. Me, I got away with a lot of stuff. So, this was one of those times where shit got caught up. So My mom goes back to work. My ass decides, oh, let me go meet up with the boys back at the park and let's reconvene. So I walk all the way to where they were. And thank God they were there because they gave me a ride back. But if say they decided not to go there, and we're talking a time when there wasn't cell phones so much, we were using pagers and shit like that. Like a lot harder to get to. And if you page someone, they had to go find a payphone. And not all payphones work. Trust me. It's 80 and 90 baby problems. Well, it's and before, but I'm just saying. Um gosh. So anyhow, party to back up over there. And yeah, I ended up making it back home before my mom, but my mom was so pissed about that. And I tell you what, we didn't do that again. We definitely did not do that again. At least I didn't. I didn't do it. Now my little sister, different story. She's a different flavor. But stand by. We'll go ahead and get on with the next story. All right. So on to the next story. This one is another story. But this time this is actually my senior year, and it was around spring break time. Um, and I believe I already had turned 18. I just had turned 18, but I was still in high school. My senior year, me and quite a few friends decided let's go camping at a beach called Carpinteria Beach. And of course, when we go, we bring all the fun stuff. We have vodka, we have a lot of fun stuff. We have a little bit of some marijuana. And of course, when we get there, we start drinking it up, having a good old time. And we get there, it's pretty early in the morning, I would say. We kind of just set up, or either that we already slept there one night. I can't remember. I just do remember this was in the morning. Actually, you know what? I take that back. We had already been there one night. This was the next morning. We all decided we get up and we were drinking like orange juice and vodka, and we're thinking it would be a good idea to go. Me and one of my other buddies thought it would be a good idea to go running into the beach water. And so we go running out there, and everybody comes watching us thinking there's no way we're going to do this. Because around this time, it's still pretty kind of, I mean, for California, it's considered pretty cold. The ocean is fucking always freezing. But certain times of year is even worse. So, me and my buddy, because here we are with our liquid courage, we're thinking, yeah, let's go out there. Let's go. Yeah. And me and my buddy Mauricio, man, we go running out, and I'm kind of looking at him, and I see him fall. Like I see him like it looks like he like drops and then kind of falls. So that makes me kind of start laughing because I'm like, but then as I'm going, all of a sudden I just go into a fall, but my ankle goes and it like snaps, and there's like all these rocks. Now, I've lived in Southern California all my life, and I've been to a lot of beaches. Never have I really been to a beach where it's sand and then all of a sudden it is just big rocks. These are not small little rocks. They're like all of a sudden like big rocks. So my foot goes into those rocks and just goes and I'm just like laughing but screaming simultaneously as I'm going underwater. Like, and it's funny because I actually remember seeing my buddy as I'm going underwater, still kind of laughing, but once again screaming in agony because of the pain. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm like, I'm in so much pain, right? I'm thinking I broke my ankle. This is how bad it is. So I'm trying to like limp myself, and I'm hoping I'm gonna walk it off. Like I've sprained my ankles a good dozen of times in high school and stuff, football and all that stuff. So here I am trying to walk out of the water, and it's just so cold, and I'm just like, "Ugh." I mean, there's just so many emotions going through my body because the water's freezing, and I mean I guess the pain is so bad that I can't even think about how cold the water is actually. And I mean, it's probably better that I'm in like pretty much ice cold water for my ankle. So I'm trying to get out, and everybody's laughing their asses off because they think, I'm kind of like just messing around, and because we're all kind of buzzed up and stuff. And they come to my aid. I'm like, dude, my ankle's done, dude. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I broke my ankle. And they look down at it, and it's already like puffing up on the side. And they're just like, whoa, dude. Yeah, let's go ahead and get back to the campground. So we're like trying to get me back to the campground. I got, my arm around two dudes, and they're getting me back. And we go all the way back to the campground. And I'm trying to tough it up, like, because I've sprained my ankles before. So I'm just like, there's no ice packs or nothing out there. I'm just kind of trying to keep it elevated. But at this point in time, it is just starting to swell. Like, I mean, like no other. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude. I'm like, bro, this is hurting so bad. I feel like it's literally about to, bust out of my, skin. It's that it hurts that bad, and it's swelling up. I mean, it looks like I have like a softball coming out on the side of my ankle at this point, and it is turning like, blue. It looks really bad. And so this is like one of my first ventures too of getting hurt, and I'm not home with my family, my parents, who always have taken me to the doctor anytime I've ever gotten hurt. Now here I am, an 18-year-old, not know what the hell to do with myself here because I'm hurt. But I call my mom, and she's just like, I'll give them the insurance information and all that. So I end up telling my buddies we have to go to the ER, bro, because I said I am just in so much pain. And I kind of skipped through stuff because I kind of skipped to my mom's situation, but it wasn't that easy to get a hold of her. Remember, we don't got cell phones and stuff at this point in time, and if you did, you know, you had these big ones, or I mean, there was some cell phones, but a lot of people actually still had kind of pagers at that time. So anyhow, when we're at the doctors and stuff, they X-ray it, and there's no break, but they said you have a third-degree sprain, which they consider to be worse than a break, pretty much, because I've messed up tendons, I messed up all kinds of stuff when I did this. I mean, I really went, mm, gosh, I mean, I could still think of how bad that one hurt. Um, so they give me a prescription for Vicodin and stuff like that to kind of help me with the pain. But because my mom wasn't there, who was the insurance holder, they would only give me enough basically to kind of get me through the night. So I think they only gave me actually two through the night. And I take that back. I actually was able to pick up some more in the morning. I just had to wait in the morning to go get the rest. But so I go back, I'm taking these Vicodins, and I'm still partying. Now I'm drinking and smoking, and I had this little bag of weed, and I had kept it like in my like waistband, and we were all smoking, drinking, and stuff. By the end of the night, when we were, or yeah, by the end of the night, we were trying to freaking smoke some more. So we're trying to find this sack, and we can't find this sack. We're like, dude, they're like, what did you do with it, bro? I'm just like, I don't know. And here I am, I'm on Viking and I'm drinking. I mean, I know this isn't probably the greatest, story, but it's, I for people that do all that stuff. But I'm out of my head at this point in time, right? So I don't know what the hell I did with this bag. So the next morning, we're still kind of looking for it, especially, and now I'm fucking, those Vicodins have worn off, and I'm just like, hey, dude, someone please take me. I got to go get these pills, man, because I am dying. So one of my buddies actually drove my car because I had driven to the beach. And so my buddy drove me to the pharmacy where I got some more Vicodins. was able to get them. And then I was just ready to go home at this point in time. I'm like, bro, I'm done. Like, let's go back, pack it up, and please take me home. And so that's basically what we did. Obviously, I wasn't really much help for anybody. I was in so much pain, and oh gosh, and I couldn't do nothing. So my buddy drives me home, and we're sitting. Once we get home to my house, we go in, we sit on the couches, and we're chilling. And once again, my mom decides to come home for lunch. I tell you, she really didn't come home much for lunch. But this time, again, she comes home for lunch. Like she just has some kind of an intuition of, hey, I need to go home. So I'm sitting on the couch and I got my foot kind of propped up, on some pillows. And my buddy is sitting across from me. Same buddy, Mauricio. He's sitting across from me and we're chilling there watching TV. My mom walks in and she comes in. She's like, oh, she's like looking at my foot and she's looking down and I see her like wincing down and I'm like, I thinking she's like getting ready to go grab my, foot. I'm like, oh, don't touch, and she's like, boom, she pulls up this sack of weed. It's not a lot, but it's enough, right? Everybody was working. Literally, it's funny because where my buddy's sitting and I'm sitting, my mom's practically holding that bag of weed and I can see my buddy through the bag of weed and my buddy was, you could tell on his face and on my face, it's kind of like, wow, there it is. Oh shit, your mom found it. It's kind of like a mixed emotions again. Here we are with his mixed emotions. And so my gosh, so he was gonna say, my mom, yeah, she's sitting there holding up, and once again, she's all pissed off. Forget my ankle. There's no sympathy at this point in time. She's upset. She takes that bag, she goes to the trash, and she just dumps it. She dumps it because I went and checked to see if she just threw the bag in there later. Man, I was just one of those guys, one of those kids. So when she came back in, needless to say, she was really upset, mad, took my buddy home. And once again, I had to, get the lecture from my mom. My mom was very much against it. She's come a long way with it and being way more acceptant. But all right, before we get on to the next show, we're going to take quick couple commercial breaks to give a couple of the veterans some shout outs. The first one we're going to do is Doc Goodbeard, who's a Marine veteran who's got some really nice, awesome beard products. So if you just want to take your average beard and make it badass, go ahead and give Doc Beard a check out. Let's go ahead and cue him up.
American made, veteran owned, we are Doc Goodbeard.
It's more than just looking good. When it comes to your beard, we believe you can have it all. Thoughtfully designed, unique fragrances, and affordable prices.
We strive to provide a line of uniquely scented balms and oils that you won't find in other products. Come on, rock with Doc, and remember, it's all about the beard, man. So what do you say? Let's take that average beard and make it badass. Go to docbeard.com.
All right, this next quick break we're going to take is a new show that I'm producing. And by the time you guys watch this, they'll be on season 2. These guys have a great show, and I love being a part of it. I'm on the background doing all the background things, that producers do. But definitely go check these guys out for sure. They're out there making a difference by educating everybody and saving people by literally just talking. So check them out.
Welcome to Sick Call with Doc, a podcast dedicated to eradicating veteran suicide. With 22 veterans lost every day, we believe that's 22 too many. Join us as we bring you inspiring stories, heartfelt conversations, and a community that cares. Because no matter what, you are not alone. We were there for you then, and we're here for you now. Follow, like, and share our mission. Together, we can make a difference. Inspiring hope, saving lives.
All right. All right, so we'll go ahead and get back into this and right back into these stories. And now we're moving on into my boot camp experiences. This one right here it just goes to show you with me, I have always had kind of a sense of humor. A lot of my reaction to things, good or bad, tends to be a little bit of a laugh. I'm not, and even when I'm not trying to make fun of anybody or something, it just, I don't know, it's an emotion that comes out even during the weirdest times. So when you get in boot camp, you first get there, you get into what they call like a receiving platoon. And it's typically like a staff NCO, like a staff sergeant or a gunnery sergeant, who basically walks you around, gets you familiar with how to march, gets you your haircut, picking up your camis, all the shots that you got to get or whatever, just all the different requirements that they require before you actually get released to your actual drill instructors, and which that's where you actually start with your whole platoon. So with this receiving platoon, once again, they're kind of they sit us down, they do a lot of talking, and I think we're already like day 2 of this, and they already kind of have us doing fire watch, which means that you got to get up and you got to walk around with a moonbeam, which is a flashlight, and you just check on everybody and make sure that no one's trying to escape. Everybody's in the rack. You're supposed to do bed counts, and because if a drill instructor comes and asks you how many racks, all those things, and you better have the right answer for them, because if they go and check and you mess something up during your watch, forget about it. So anyhow, we're in this receiving platoon. We have this gunnery sergeant. He has us all sitting down and around a circle. And when we sit down, we got to sit Indian style, left over right, left hand on left knee, right hand on right knee. And we got to listen to the instruction. Well, as this guy sitting there, this gunnery sergeant sitting there talking, there's this guy Bradshaw, and I can see him in my peripherals, and I don't know what he's smirking about or even kind of grinning about. He's just making a face that's making me start to get the giggles a little bit. And this is not any time you want to do anything other than listen to what that drill instructor is telling you. So I see him and I'm like, oh no. And he starts seeing me because now I'm starting to crack a grin and stuff like that, and starting to get a little bit more, like, oh gosh, this is getting hard to hold it back. And I'm like trying my best not to start laughing, but it's now really bad because now I'm getting the giggles and now I can't control it. And it's like coming up and I'm like, and I'm at a level of like almost gonna die. Thank God the gunnery sergeant still hadn't looked at me until he did, right? And I'm just, and then I can't. My face is giving it away. I am very animated person. If you guys haven't been able to tell from watching, I'm pretty animated with my face, my hands. I just am a very animated person. So I'm, dying, and that gunnery sergeant goes, "Hey, what in the fuck is so funny?" And I'm like, boom, I did. The laughter came out like an explosion. I just, and I'm laughing my ass off. I'm trying not to, and the gunnery sergeant is literally losing his shit on me, just losing his shit. And Bradshaw's laughing his ass off too at this point in time because he can't maintain either. So, man, we just sit there and get our asses chewed. Well, that ended up playing off later when I get released into my actual platoon with my drill instructors, because I think it was literally the next day we get released to our drill instructors. And let me tell you, they definitely alerted them that I was some kind of a clown, me and Bradshaw, because, man, I tell you, we couldn't do anything right in boot camp, Bradshaw and I. They were always, you, Roof, Bradshaw, where they punished us. It was called a quarterdeck. They used to pull us up to that quarterdeck and just sit there and smoke us. So yeah, it was one of those things. My laughter got the best of me. It's not the only time that this has happened to me. I've laughed during other times when I shouldn't have, especially if I'm around my little sister. My little sister and I don't know. She's one of those people I cannot look at her during serious stuff because she will get me to start laughing. Like, no joke. All right, stand by for the next one. You're watching Everydays and Saturdays, USMC Veteran. All right, and we're back. Hopefully, I can edit out that little last piece. If I didn't, you guys will notice that there was something that just happened. But if not, you'll be like, what the hell is he talking about? Hopefully, it's what the hell is he talking about? All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next story. This is another one in boot camp. So when I went to boot camp, there's a guy that I ended up going to boot camp with that I actually knew. We didn't go to boot camp together, and it literally just happened to be a coincidence that we happened to go at the same time. We had no plan. There was no buddy program system, and we always were told, do not act like you even know each other type situation, because the buddy program people got messed with. All right, so there's this guy, Warble is his last name. His name's Isaac Warble. And tall dude, and I worked with him prior to going boot camp. He was always a really cool guy, got along with him really well. And we, like I said, we ended up, my recruiter, as he's picking, there's me and one other guy, we go to pick up this last person, and it's him. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? That's crazy. I know this guy. So it was so weird. So end up putting us in the exact same platoon and everything. Well, once again, we're actually in our own platoon at this point in time, and we do a lot of like those sitting around gathering times. That's when they call it knowledge time or story time or whatever your drill instructor may call it. They stack two foot lockers on top of each other, and they have us all gather around. Well, in boot camp, whenever you go to sit down, it's likely that you're never going to sit down fast enough, and you're going to sit down more than one time. Sometimes it's going to be 5 times. Sometimes it's going to be 20 times. Depends on the drill instructor. It could be even more, So this in particular day, he decides the drill instructor decides to do the whole sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up. And mind you, once again, when we sit down, we always got to sit Indian style. That's left foot over right foot, and left hand on left knee, right hand on right knee. And so every time we go down, we're doing that. And I say about the third time that we hit the deck, I can hear my buddy Warble like go, help me, like in a whisper, but like a panic whisper. Like, I know the drill instructor couldn't hear us because of all the commotion. And I look over and there's this purple splatter. I'm like, what in the shit? This dude did something that you just don't do. You'd never take food from the chow hall and bring it in. The food never leaves the chow hall in boot camp. Well, Warble thought he would be smart with it and put it in his cargo pockets. Now, the cargo pockets are right above our kneecaps, so to speak, on our sides. So when he's sitting down, obviously, that yogurt had no chance. That had, it was poof and exploded. So as he's sitting down, he's trying to scoot with his butt. He looks terrified, as he should, because, man, you just don't do that. So he freaking out, and I'm like, dude, I'm like, in my head, I can't help you. You're in trouble. And I say about after the 5th time at this point in time, we've already done a couple iterations after it exploded. The drill instructor, you can tell, notices, because that fool just you could see his campaign cover just pop and look at Warble, and he just, get your ass onto the quarter deck. And we're like, oh my gosh. And we're all just sitting there sitting there now at this point in time. He leaves us sitting there and takes Warble over to the quarter deck, and just, you can hear Warble getting smoked, and you can hear them, the drill instructor just going, done. And we're literally all just sitting there left, you know, in our Indian style. No one's saying a word. We're just listening to the whole thing of Warble getting smoked. And I say he probably smoked them a good 5 solid minutes, maybe even longer. I know that doesn't sound long, but when you're doing continuously things like mountain climbers, push-ups, nose divers, up downs, I mean, anything that you can think of to wear you out, yeah, they did it. So good old Warble, man, he comes back, and so is drill instructor. And boy, I tell you, it looked like he just got out of the pool. He was drenched from head to toe. So if you're thinking about joining, hey, do not sneak food into the barracks. You will get caught. All right. Them guys, them drill instructors got the sense of the best dog, sniffer dog. They got eyes and ears all over their bodies. They can see things that most people can never see. You know what I mean? So don't fuck around with them guys, because you'll find out. No joke. All right. Go ahead and we'll get on to the next one. So stand by. Okay. This next story is after my military career. Now, I should probably do another one of these shows eventually where I got other stories to tell, because there's tons of military stories. And some of them may not be very good, right? Or, I mean, not that they're not good. They may not be appropriate. So if you guys want to hear those kind of stories, send me an email and say, hey, we want to hear some more wild, crazy stories of your life, because that shit was funny. Or they'll tell us another story. Your stories are lame, bro. Nevertheless, hey, I would absolutely love to hear from you guys. So also in the link, I mean, in the description of the show is my email. So please shoot me off an email. And if you have funny stories out there, I will read them on air, and maybe we'll do like a mail call with Bryan. So if you guys send me some emails and some stuff, I'll share it with the audience, and we could have some fun together. You could do it anonymously as well, so that way you don't give up your name. And you can replace names as whatever you want to do, or you can also say, hey, I don't care. Tell people this funny ass story. It'd be a good one. Okay, so now this next one is me being a new dad, and my daughter, she's about a year and some change at this point in time. And her stepsister, a couple years, I say a couple years, more like 5 years older than her, had school. And her bus stop was kind of around the corner. Not too far. Like, I mean, you could definitely walk there, but when you have a young one, it's a little bit harder to walk there and takes a little bit longer. So hey, we'll go ahead and get in the truck and go around the corner and pick her up. Well, I'm, trying to be cool dad, and I'm like, I'm just going to let her sit in the front seat. She has her little baby doll with her. I was like, oh yeah, well, just let her sit in her front seat. Who cares? We're just going around the corner. What could possibly go down, in that little drive. So we go around the corner. We get to the bus stop. We're sitting there waiting. She's in the front seat playing with her baby and having fun. We're listening to music. And the bus gets there. Now with this bus, they want you to get out. They want you to go all the way up basically to the bus driver, kind of wave to him, and then they give you your kid. So I get my stepdaughter, and we start walking towards the car, and I see that my little one is now in the driver's seat, like acting like she's driving. I mean, she's behind the steering wheel, like sitting there acting like she's driving. I'm like, Oh my gosh, this little girl. I'm kind of laughing at this point. So I go to the passenger side to go let Lily in, and the door's locked. And I'm like, oh no. Now, mind you, it's not a hot day. So don't think like, oh my gosh, it's not a hot day. It's actually on the verge of raining. It did sprinkle a little bit during this whole ordeal as well. And the car's running, the music's on. And at this point in time, she's acting like she's driving, and she starts to mess with the radios. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I mean, thoughts are running through my head. I'm thinking I'm going to have to break my window. And I'm like sitting there. I go to the driver's side, and I'm sitting there banging on the window. And I'm like, Michaela, unlock the door, honey. Unlock the door. And she's just like waving at me, and she's having a good time. And she's all smiling and has her baby. And at one point in time, she even goes and sits back down, and she turns up the music pretty loud at one point, goes, sits down in the passenger seat, and she just starts like rocking her baby, the little fake baby. I'm like, oh my gosh, honey, unlock the door. So, I mean, after I'm doing this, and once again, I'm thinking, there's like a desert across the street. I can go grab a rock and just bust through this window. But damn, man, that's going to suck. So as I'm sitting there yelling, like I said, there's these two gentlemen that pop their head over the wall. They're like, so where I'm parked, there's a sidewalk, and then there's a retaining wall, and then there's actually the neighborhood that I live in, and my street's basically on that other side. These guys happen to be in their backyard or whatnot, and they're sitting there, the people over, and they're like, hey bro, what's going on, man? You all right? And I'm like, oh man. I said, hey, listen, my 1-year-old, she locked me out while I was getting my daughter. I had to go sit there and tell them those stories. Oh shit, dude, that sucks. Oh, well, hey, got AAA, man. I'll get on the phone with AAA right now and see if they can come out and help you out. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now, before that had happened, right before these guys popped over their head, I kind of left this part out. This is like my bad dad things are coming out really bad at this point in time. So with my stepdaughter, who I think she's about 5 years old, I'm telling her, Lily, run home, and I'm telling her to go get like a hanger, like a wire hanger, because I'm thinking I can just put it down there and unlock the door, no problem. So she goes running home, and I'm like, and like why she goes running home. That's why I'm sitting there still yelling. And then the guys pop up, right? They get on the phone with AAA. And as they come over, they're like, and the guy's talking, he's like, hey man, it's gonna be a little bit before AAA can make it out. They said they'll go ahead and call the fire department, and that the fire department can come out sooner. I'm like, oh sheesh, bro. Okay. Well, I guess we got to do what we got to do at this point. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how many people are going to get involved? So as we're sitting there talking about all this, I'm looking down the way, and here comes my stepdaughter Lily holding hands with this lady, and you can tell she's like crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going down? So my gosh, she comes up, and she's like, hey, she just was sitting there crying and saying that you got locked out and all this stuff. I really couldn't understand her. So I was just like, show me where your dad is. And so here we are. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So here's now another neighbor's now involved. And as her and I are talking, there's another neighbor driving by who knows her, and they start like kind of, oh yeah, he just got this, can you help? And like everybody's starting to find out. So, and we're still trying to get her to unlock this door, by the way. And it's just like literally one of those little like press it, it should be done. She was able to lock the dang door. She should be able to unlock it. So while we're sitting there, and now I got neighbors over there, it's a little bit turning into more of a show. My daughter, she's having a good old time. Here comes a cop. I see the cop coming. I'm like, oh no, gosh dang! Now the cops are involved too. So he rolls up, a sheriff, and he gets out and he says, "Hey, whose car is this?" And it's like, me, like, oh, damn, man. And he's just like, all right, well, he goes over to the window and he's like telling Michaela, unlock the door, honey, unlock the door. I think he only said it maybe 2 times to her. She goes, click, clicks it, unlocks the door. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And as she unlocks the door, here comes the fire department. All right. So now at this point, I got the fire department, the sheriff, neighbors, and she unlocks the door for the sheriff. I'm just like, no way, man. No way. I mean, this ordeal had to go on for a good little while. I can't say for sure how long. For me, it felt like an eternity, and it was a super embarrassing moment. But man, I learned a lot about being a dad in that one day and trying to be a cool dad and all that. It literally backfired on me, and I'm glad I learned that young. But yeah, don't take your 1-year-old. Don't leave them in the car by themselves with the keys, car running, all that stuff. Not a good idea. Please learn from me. All right, we'll go ahead and get on to the next story. Stand by. All right, cheers, by the way. Okay, so for this next story, this one's kind of a gross one, but funny as well. So this is after I'm divorced. I'm living on my own. My kids, I had them every other weekend, and they were with their mom during this time. And I was at the house, and it was kind of like it was like a dark night while the lights were out. I decided to have like a little bit of an ice cream sandwich, and I have a little dog. Her name's Minnie, and she was a little Pomeranian mix, and let her run in the house, and stuff, especially while I was home. So sitting there eating my ice cream, and was sitting down at sitting down at the couch, and want to get up and go grab something. So I go into the kitchen. I don't turn on the light, and I'm eating my ice cream sandwich. Well, little piece looks like I feel like it fell off of my ice cream sandwich onto the ground. Now, I always been raised like the 5-second rule, all that kind of stuff. Like, hey, as long as you pick it up fast enough, you're good. So I love ice cream sandwiches. I ain't letting this bitch go to waste. So I go down to pick up the ice cream sandwich, and I go to take a bite, and put it in my mouth. And as soon as it touches my lip, it's like it registers in my head. Oh shit, this is not ice cream. Ugh, ugh, ugh. I let down. I'm just losing it. Washing my fucking mouth. It is dog shit. It is a little piece of dog shit. And that's the thing about having little dogs. It looked like a piece of chocolate, and it was dark. All the things wrong. I don't care about this stupid rule no more. Let that son of a bitch sit on that ground, or I'm gonna pick it up and throw it in the trash. No more am I. After that, I did not ever want 5-second rule, whatever. I don't play that because I'm still a little bit destroyed from that one. You know what I mean? Got a little PTSD from that. So, oh gosh, boy, that one was a rough one. And like I said, don't ever pick something up off the ground and eat it, because could be dog poop on accident, especially if it's dark. Yeah, man. All right, stand by for the next one. All right. And we're back. Okay. This is going to be the last one. So for all you that have stuck it out this far, this is the last one, and then we'll be done for this show. A little bit longer than the normal coffee talks. I do apologize. Try to keep them about 30 minutes. I didn't realize this was going to be so long. I should have probably broke it up into two parts, but you always have that ability to kind of pause it and resume it later. But thank you for sticking around anyways. All right, so this last one is kind of a goofy one. I decided we decided to go out to eat with some friends, some really good friends. It was their birthday dinner, I believe. They both have a birthday around the same day, same time. So they kind of celebrated together, obviously. We decided to go out to eat. And at this point in time, I was at this like trying to eat better kick, trying to eat salads and, just eat healthier. I guess I'm not familiar with salads, right? Because at this point in time, maybe I didn't order enough salads in my days because no idea. Well, they didn't have a real huge selection on the salads. There was this one called a wedge salad, and I said, and all the things that it said about it, it sounded amazing. Bacon, ranch spread all over. Like it just sounded really good. I was like, oh shoot, man, a little protein on it. Well, I get the plates at the table and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And everybody's like, that's a wedge salad. I'm like, oh, what? If you don't know what a wedge salad, I had no clue in my 40 years of life what the frick a wedge salad was. Well, wedge salad is basically the part that most people throw away. It is like the heart almost of I guess it is the heart of the salad. It's like the yellow parts. It's really hard. There's zero flavor. You have to have something spread all over it. I don't know how people still to this day, I still don't know how people eat wedge salads. I've never once ever again ordered another wedge salad. I had to eat my salad basically with a fork and a knife. Who the hell has to cut their freaking salad? Right? So for you that love wedge salads, God bless you out there. God bless you in working for your salad because yeah, never again, man. I've always any salad I've ever made, I pretty much throw that part out. So I was shocked when they just brought me a plate and it was like cut almost like practically like a wedge. And what is that? Yeah. So if you don't know what a wedge salad is, don't get it. If you love wedge salads, kudos to you. But hey guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for these funny stories. I hope you guys had some great laughs on the behalf of myself. Hey, you know what? Some stories are not exactly comfortable to talk to people about, or maybe it's embarrassing, but it's okay. Sometimes we got to laugh at ourselves, laugh at things that we do. That's all part of recovery and getting ourselves in a good mental space. We want to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. So part of that too is being able to laugh at yourself, have fun. Don't take things so serious. Life is very short if you actually look at it in the glimpse of things. And I've lost a lot of friends that didn't get to live life, so let's live life living, not live life dying. I hope you guys are having an amazing day out there. You know how we say on the show, don't let the day kick your ass. Make sure you're out there kicking it. Until next time, we'll see you guys.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.